Unbelievable game. My goodness, these NBA playoffs are not disappointing. We got to talk about this. Celtics and Knicks. Celtics hosting game 2 in Boston. And the Boston Celtics were up big at points of this game. And the Celtics choked it away. And it's not just the Celtics. The Cavs they've choked too. I mean, teams are choking in the playoffs, guys. When the lights are the brightest, those with the tight asses paws are the ones that are going to be letting you down. So let's discuss this and let me know what your thoughts and opinions were on this game in the comments. And also later on in the video, I'm going to talk about what I expect for the next 2 games in New York. All right, so the Knicks come back and win game 2 in Boston. Late game heroics, clutch free throws, defensive execution. I can't reiterate that enough. The defense by the Knicks. All right, so to start things off, the Knicks looked deplorable offensively. They could only muster up 13 points in the first quarter. The Celtics didn't do that great in the first quarter. They scored 24. So props to the Celtics for playing good defense, forcing the Knicks to shoot poorly. Now, the Knicks played much better in the second quarter, but they weren't really able to kind of cut the lead that much. I think they were down by 9 at halftime. And then the Celtics, I think, did a nice job defensively on the Knicks again in the third. The trouble is in the fourth quarter. There was a point where the Celtics were in complete control of this game, third going into the fourth. And I forget what the biggest lead was, but there was a time, I think it stretched to maybe 18 or something like that. But seemingly after that point, I saw the Knicks start to make a few shots. They cut the lead to like 7 or 8 points. And I was like, there's enough time for them to come back. And they did. And then they won the game defensively. Look, the Celtics shot 36% from the field. The Knicks shot 43%. The 3-point percentages weren't really that different. The Celtics took 40. They made 10. We still got a 3-point thing happening here. It ain't 60 like the last game, but 40's a lot. And they only made 25% of them. The rebounding edge went to the Celtics. +6 on the offensive glass, +5 overall in rebounding. And turnovers, it was pretty close. The Celtics had one more turnover. But it's the late game execution, people. This continues to be the problem for these teams. We're talking about the teams that are supposed to be the favorites. So looking at some of the individual efforts. All right, for the Knicks, Josh Hart gave you 23. Brunson only 17, right? So Josh Hart was able to pick up some of that scoring. Karl Anthony Towns played a good game. Give him his props. 21 points, 17 rebounds, 3 offensively. OG didn't do much offensively, but of course he brings the defense to the table. Kel Bridges, him and Anunoby actually were the ones, and I'm trying to think somebody else was in on the play, maybe Mitchell Robinson. They took Karl Anthony Towns out of the game for that last possession, and they came up with a defensive stop at the end. I feel like it was Mikal Bridges. Came up with that stop. And they blocked Jason Tatum. I got to speak to this. Jason Tatum, 13 points tonight. I know he got 14 rebounds. I get it. 5 assists, 3 steals, a block. He's doing all those things. But your team needs you to score points. And you're not. 5 of 19 shooting in 42 minutes. 1 of 5 from 3. That ain't going to cut it. And I just talked to the homie True to King. Al Horford. 5 threes attempted, 0 made. Drew Holiday, 10 points. Derek White, Jaylen Brown, they did their thing, 20 points each. Derek White, kind of volume, hit some free throws. But you know what he brings to the table defensively. And Jaylen Brown's legit, right? We're not questioning that. Pritchard, kind of light off the bench, 9 points. You probably need a little bit more in some spots, right? Jason Tatum, you got to close that game. Brunson's closing these games. He's putting these Knicks in a position to win these games. The Knicks defense is holding up. Brunson is holding up. And Tatum just isn't. And sure, you could point to some other stuff with the Celtics, but it's always going to fall back on the star. Just the other night, the Cavs lost game 2 at home after losing game 1 at home. And I'm very critical of the Stars. So, yes, Donovan Mitchell was amazing, but it wasn't good enough. You had to do one more thing, and you didn't. See what I'm saying? Because it's on you. Nobody on the court is better than you. This is a choke job by the Celtics. This is a choke job by Tatum, who didn't have the wherewithal, didn't have the awareness to know that 3 guys were converging on him. Tried to dribble through the teeth of the defense, faded away, went to the sideline or the baseline, and ended up getting blocked anyways. I mean, they had a timeout. They could have set up something. What were you thinking, Joe Mazzulla? That was your opportunity. Set something up for Tatum. Get the mismatch. Get the switch. Get some space. Get some action. You had a timeout. What? You were going to take it with you where? To the Madison Square Garden for game 3? Not a good ending. Knicks with the upset. Go Knicks.